If you could start a business, what would you start? Story 1. As a child, I can remember reading and collecting comics and graphic novels, where the obsession would go as far as reducing lunch money to buy the next issue off one's favorite series. One of my friends in high school was also very much absorbed in the whole reading thing, only hers was manga. This took hours to pass, as we exchanged pages, argued over the most popular characters, and invented crazy, unfinished, and childish hypotheses on why we should open a shop ourselves. Some time passed and things changed. She went off to find her happy place in a bookshop filled with all the stories she enjoyed, while I somehow managed to become part of the boring corporality, busying myself with countless Excel spreadsheets. But to be fair, that ancient wish is still almost intact. Were I given a chance to start a business, it would be a small bookstore in which half are comics and the other half manga. This is the best of both worlds. It would not only be a business, but rather a social center where people can come, search for new stories, and enjoy themselves without reservations. I would create inviting spaces for reading, offer interesting activities such as manga drawing classes or comic book clubs on a regular basis, and perhaps even invite local artists to display their creations. And the best part? I would be able to manage it alongside my best friend, which is something we envisioned. It'd be the kind of place I wished existed when we were younger. A space as this one for people like us who want to detach themselves from the harsh realities of life and instead focus on the different worlds we enjoy. Story 2. I have always aspired to open a bar, but not just an ordinary bar. I would call it Puzzles. The whole premise needs to revolve around making an individual pause and ponder even before settling into the premises. For the audience here, the signboard would not state puzzles directly. It would have a series of letters in random order, expecting solving it like a word puzzle. Once again, upon entering the place, certain things would initially seem hard to comprehend. The menu? It would be a crossword where you first have to finish off the whole crossword before dawning on what dish you are ordering. It wouldn't be just outlandish names given to drinks. They'd have to be incognizable questions like, what is a connoisseur's love that mellows only with the passage of time? It is referred to as whiskey. Even the structure itself would be mind-boggle photo illusions such as framed images of M.C. Escher's paintings of staircases, tables that appear slanted yet remain perfectly level, clocks which go backwards yet still are precise to the second. And every week, we would also have puzzle nights carrying brain teasers and outdoor scavenger hunts, as well as mini escape room games positioned within the design of the bar. Just picture this. To get your next drink, you have to open a secret drawer and discover a drinky clue within. It is not going to be just another hangout. It would be an occasion where the individuals walk out as if there's some mystery they have been able to unravel. That is the kind of context I picture this place could cling into people's memories. A place they wouldn't return simply for the beverages, but for the entertainment of cracking all the puzzles. Story 3. Having spent my early years in an inner-city environment, I appreciated how crucial self-defense skills are in that setting. There were always reports of someone being robbed or otherwise accosted, and it was not only grown-ups, it was frequently the case with children. One of my mates, for example, was assaulted while returning from school. He had no prior experience in physical confrontations, which traumatized him for weeks. That's where the idea of starting a practical martial art business comes from. Usually, when you go to martial art school, you are made to practice and perfect the art of stunts and show pieces and forms which take years to attain. In this kind of school, however, people focus on self-defense training and more realistic practical skills that do not take long. What the purpose would be to instruct maneuvers applicable in a real fight, be it escaping a choke, blocking a punch, or tearing away from an aggressor twice your size. There would be classes for women so they don't have to be afraid of walking home at night, and classes for children so they can learn how to deal with bullies. Besides the physical aspect of it, however, ID aim at helping them with the psychological aspect of self-defense, situational awareness, being able to anticipate problems before they arise. But I would see it as more than just fight after fight. I would aspire for the dojo to be a family, A family that exchanges a lot of stories, helps each other out, and most importantly helps build up members' self-esteem. I would even encourage law enforcement and self-defense practitioners within the community to organize lectures and seminars so that such people would be part of the community. Nevertheless, it is not only about instructing a person how to land a punch, it is about equipping the individual with the means to feel safe and secure in their day-to-day activities. Story 4. Mangifera indica has always held a strange kind of fascination for me. When I say mango products, I mean every possible mango product that you can think of. So given the chance, I'd open a mango farm. Not because I want to sell mangoes. No, I would transcend that limit. This means everything and anything that I can associate with a mango. Fresh mangoes during summer seasons, dried mango for making snaking cuisines, mango salsa, and even mango butter, not forgetting their scented candles. The desire to do farm tourism would also be inclusive. A kill two birds with one stone approach. You pick your fruits, eat simple mango ice cream, and even a mango truck viciously parks near you. Mango arrangements for people who want to learn English as a second language would be incorporated, as well as seasonal mango activities. Also, there would be a gallery of cravings, which is the all-thing mango. Here comes the best part. I would create a box of mangoes every month for subscribers. A delivery box includes a variety of fresh mangoes as well as some random products every month. Sourcing different varieties, as these could be hard to get, I would also get my hands a few of them and repine them. I just feel there is something about this fruit that radiates summer, and I would very much like to create a business around making this feeling to as many people as possible. Story 5. There has always been a thought of mine of opening a fast food restaurant offering all the classics like fried chicken, burgers, hot dogs, sandwiches, and pizza. No muss and fuss, just good old American comfort food. You know how when the food craving calls, you want to eat but would rather not engage your brains to make the order. Quite the contrary, I would try to do the simple things very well, more so than anyone else. Like fried chicken that would have the perfect crunch and perfectly seasoned, and burgers that would have thick and juicy meat that wouldn't fall apart. Hot dogs? They would be delicious and filled with fresh and good toppings and not just ketchup or mustard. And what of the pizza? That would be its own, with a mad-looking crust chips hard outside and soft dough inside, and proper-looking toppings, with no freezer-preserved-looking ones. I would want to keep the menu limited, but manage to put a stamp of work and craft into it, even if it is just fast food. Perhaps when introducing the health-oriented elements, I would attach a few of the salads so popular nowadays, but nothing great, just a Caesar's or a decent Garden S salad with crispy vegetables and proper dressing. Also, I would introduce a few add-ons, such as a two-way monsoon special where a BBQ chicken sandwich or a spicy fried shrimp po' boy would rotate on a weekly basis. Only here's the twist. Making sure delivery is available would also be a must. Food delivery is something that people yearn for every food that is ordered today, and I would make sure such food is well packed. No wet chips or cold pizzas. Easily, my aim would be to recreate that same comforting feeling of being in a Shal diner, that one could be in their house dressed in pajamas. It wouldn't be about inventing anything new. It would be about making all those delicious dishes people already know and love even better. Story 6. I've had this yearning to create a small, non-mainstream record label for a long time. Not because I think I will earn lots of money, but because the idea of hunting inexperienced artists and giving them a chance appeals to me. In fact, I have spent several nights scrounging the internet for the most fascinating and remote truths, listening to the demos of band of the local ones, and watching their live performances on some dubious YouTube channels which have only 12 views. Some of them are really good and have the potential to go far, but they remain inside their garage or play in a bar once in a while as they do not have connections or money for a decent recording studio. What bothers me most is the aspect of how much great music never gets made. Thus, my vision is rather clear. A record company where the artists come first and not only the profits. I would like to start with a simple mobile recording unit, as this is not too expensive, but it allows bands and soloists to record a decent quality of sound. I would want to encourage them to distribute their music, to place their tracks on Spotify, Apple Music, print out some limited edition of vinyl records too. And it would not only end at recording, I would also go to promote them from the grassroots level, linking them up with some local places for their performance, perhaps even assist them with the arrangement of short tours. The objective would not be to go against the large record label powers. It would be about fostering an environment where real music can flourish in its purest forms. If I could at least break even while enabling these talented people to let the world have for its own usage, that would be the image I have always more than wanted. Story 7. From my early years, every single picture or film, regardless of the genre, has been an obsession for me. Not just admiring it, but decomposing the entire effect. I would scrutinize everything, including the camera angles and techniques changing the pace of music in a particular scene. While most children were playing outside, I was inside drawing imaginary studio logos and creating storylines for grand trilogies that didn't even exist. With time, that hobby was never really lost. This was to say, civilizing those childhood fantasies began to take root. At the moment, I have developed a screenplay for what I feel may be one inventive pilot episode of a series. The most minute aspects are all there, right from the title sequence, logo animation, to even the credit fonts. I can almost feel the visuals in my brain, so simply and aggravatingly understandable. A film company would be opened by me the next day, but for the wide resources. Yet I'd not want it to be an assembly line, heartless studio producing or whatever is in vogue. No, I would want it to be a space that fosters growth and creativity, where people with a passion for storytelling, just like me, can come together and create something beautiful. I aspire to develop not only interesting but also appreciative ever films and television series. I mean the kind of stories that leaves you speechless, staring at the screen even after the movie is over. Story 8. If given a chance to set up a business, the concept will be around the best hybrid gym ever. This is no ordinary treadmill workout or a gym with a single squat rack filled all day with sweaty males. Envision such a gym having not less than 20 squat racks and deadlift areas, such that everyone gets served without waiting in the cold. There will be a climbing and bouldering section for those days you wish to rock climate extremes like El Capitan. And besides it, an archery range, because why not? Who does leg days and doesn't want to practice their archery like Katniss? Oh, and a track and field section for those who wish to toss a javelin or simply want to dash their stress levels away. And the best part, a bouncy castle area. Because who doesn't want to bounce while burning calories? But it wouldn't stop there. Something like a turf field to do some sled pushing and agility, perhaps also a couple of punching bags and even some sort of combat zone for when one feels like having a good fight. There would even be recovery zones, ice, massage chairs, sauna and the like, so that one can perform after everything back to a normal state. This is the kind of physical place that I would envisage creating, a place that is much more of a social networking space than a gym. A recreational center for active, adventurous, and explorative individuals. There would be activities appropriate for powerlifters as well as for those who just want to jump around in a gym. Not a boring venture, but one that is fun and seems like a big playground. Story 9. If there is one business I could establish, no doubt, a beach bar. I mean an informal gazebo right on the sand with a wooden floor and a millipede like strings of bulbs all over the place. It would have that easy atmosphere where the sound of waves breaking is suitable for the eyes and the sunset every evening. I would offer ice-cold beers directly from the cooler, colorful drinks with those tiny umbrellas in them, and perhaps a basic assortment of foods available locally. Fish tacos, shrimp kebab, and grilled burgers. A person could just walk barefoot from the water into the cabin and have a drink as long as they wish, without running or being tensed. There would be a performance held a couple of times a week. Nothing rowdy, just an acoustic with soft music or a steel drummer. This is how I always imagined this place. It would be enjoyed both by locals and tourists, as if everybody has discovered a tranquil place in the universe, where the pace of life gawks. It's not even about so much profits. It's about building a tiny little paradise where life can be paused for a moment and purely enjoyed. Whenever I go to the beach, I find myself fantasizing about managing a similar facility. Who knows? Perhaps in the future I might stop dreaming and take the plunge. Story 10. The concept of running a little vintage-style movie theater has always appealed to me and has remained one of my dreams up to this day. So imagine a small theater, maximum 150 seats. This is the place where you enter doors, and there is an old-fashioned ticket box sell an actual rubber mask that has the face of a woman smiling at you. A huge, bright sign above it screams out this week's offerings in those classic films titles, where the letters are a bit unevenly spaced. You walk in, and the first thing that hits you is the smell of fresh popcorn cooked the right way, not the pre-packed way where bags are torn open and salt and butter are mixed. Inside, the walls have a collection of retro films posters, complete with a few old black and white photos from of the classic era of Hollywood films. How about the chairs? Comfortable and bright crimson in color, well cushioned and pleasant, seeming to beckon the seated ones for a few hours of TV. Moreover, how about the screen? The view is perfectly shielded with an elaborate, heavy curtain, which is drawn apart, revealing screen that is about to begin. I would want to strike the right proportion of the popular and older movies. Picture a double billing of La La Land and Casablanca, or one where we feature parasites and pulps as a dusk till dawn. It wouldn't be a place which tried to sell the most daring or newest of releases. It would rather evoke a sense of pleasing nostalgia and warmth as the customers would come to rediscover their love for the motion called pictures. No expensive, shinny flip-flops as other areas looking for everything. No, it's a simple, fateful love for the movies. It is not even about earning large profits, but rather fostering relations, where people are comfortable enough with each other sitting next to each other in low lighting, coaxing each other's heart and leaving them with added enchanted feelings. Story 11. The financial markets have always drawn me in, the exhilaration, the tactics, the decisions with a great deal of risk when playing the market. Consequently, if I were to engage in conducting business, a brokerage company would be at the top of my list. A brokerage firm is where you get hired to handle people's money, make investments on their behalf, and enjoy a specified percentage of the profits. It is a rather basic concept of wealth accumulation. However, right knowledge is what makes it more interesting, as the sky is the limit. But I wouldn't just jump in the water without a plan. I would research the market and the competition extensively. I would learn trends, data, and other performance metrics and optimize processes to enhance returns on investment. I have a way of dealing with people who invest money. This is not about earning money in the shortest time possible. When asked by people to manage their money, the simple premise is that they know who to look for when they require such services. I wouldn't begin a full-fledged company at once. Probably 1 or 2 family members would act as my first clients. After that, as their investments rise, it would be the word of the mouth which would do the rest. Over time, expansion would be possible, with the engagement of a few workers to assist in managing increased clients and bigger investment sizes than before. The icing on the cake? It's a business which, given the right management, survives in any economy. There is always a market for something somewhere, provided one knows where to look. Of course, it comes with certain risks, which is natural. The well-reasoned plan and approach would make me take advantage of every market fluctuation to develop not only the property of my clients, but also my own. It is a type of enterprise which appreciates tactics and loyalty alike, and to be honest, this is what interests me the most. Story 12. Were I to open a business, it would surely be a bus service. That is a form of transport that most people get to want at all times, regardless of geography, or even at what stage of the economy. Watching people struggle getting from one place to another, more so when they do not own a vehicle or have to rely on Uber for every short distance travel, always made me wonder how hard life could be. In high school, I would always use buses, and then I understood how many people rely on this service. It is not about taking a trip, but rather enjoying one while bridging a gap between two places. One variation of the bus company route could be confined within a city itself, or extend to its suburbs and even in the countryside, providing reasonable and cheap fares that are accessible to all. It is not only about allowing people to get to work or school, it means enabling them to go places for fun, see their relatives, or even travel out of the town where they live. Public transport can tear down so many walls, enhancing access to employment, education, and other important services. Also, as this world embraces green and sustainable practices, there is the viable business of running electric or hybrid buses, thus ensuring the viability of the business model to eco-friendly people. I have always seen the impact of effectively designed public transport networks on a city and the ease it brings to its inhabitants. This is not simply a business opportunity, but more of a meaningful experience that enriches the community in a healthy manner. As an everyday factor, transportation fills every person's life, and I wish to provide an efficient, secure, and easy means of transportation for my clients. Already I find how this could enhance the life of many a sustainable business idea worth pursuing for me.